So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another great episode of Entrepreneurial Lymph. I'm Debra Pearlman. I'm your host or hostess. I'm not sure. Anyway, I love what I get to do. I get to talk to amazing human beings who were put on this planet to help support, advise, guide, mentor, and shape the future and to support the entrepreneurs and the business leaders of our communities, both local and global. And I am so honored today to have a phenomenal guest, somebody who I haven't seen, and I think we figured out it's probably been almost 10 years.
I think so,
And
incredibly.
yeah. So I may not pronounce his last name correctly. So if I butcher it, please forgive me. It's Bill Fioravanti. How'd I do?
Beautiful.
There
Mwah.
you go. See?
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Better than my grandmother would say it. I love it.
Oh, okay. I will not tell her that. So
No, it's God rest her soul. So
okay. So it's our secret and the listeners. So Bill and I met when back in the day when my husband and I lived in New York State. The family we were all in New York State. The kids were little. And I was just getting out and starting to network and starting to build my reputation. And Bill and I met when you, Mr. Bill Fioravanti, was working at Orange County Chamber of Commerce.
I
That's
think
how
that's
far
right.
back it was. Yes.
That's a while ago now.
Way.
Yep.
And even back then, Mr. Fioravanti had a knack for making the connections. You had my recollection of you is you had a lot of energy, a lot of intention, a lot of focus. You were really good at connecting people and making people feel very welcome and warm, and you connected very easily with
Well,
people.
thanks.
Yeah, you did, and you were really great at building that trust and rapport, which is so vital, especially when you're there to help support people. And that's really what the mission was. So
hmm
without further ado, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to give you the reins. If you want to introduce yourself, and so tell us where you are now, what your title is, and a little bit about what you're currently doing, and then we'll work our way back to where you are now. How's that?
Great. Yeah, it's great. Thank you. First of all, thanks for having me, Deborah. This is exciting. It was great to see you. I have kept, tabs on you a little bit, seeing what you're doing. So it's not like I'm completely lost, but it's really great to have, a live interaction like this and for the sake of everyone else. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Orange County IDA, and an IDA is an industrial development agency. Essentially, we provide tax incentives to help attract businesses to Orange County or to help them expand here. I've been in what I'll call an economic developer for the last 12 plus years. Maybe not even counting my time at the chamber, but that was in the same family, I guess. But really, economic development, me defining that as trying to again attract or expand businesses here directly. Whereas with the chamber, it was really trying to help companies that are here, trying to help them do business, trying to get better known and all of that. Now I'm a little bit more specifically focused on what we're trying to do. But it's been a really great run. Again, the last 12 years or so, we've had a lot of great growth in Orange County, attracting new businesses here from all sorts of different sectors. We're big, of course, as the name of the agency, denotes. It's industrial development agency. So we do a lot of industrial logistics, manufacturing, but we also do hospitality. We've incentivized a number of hotels. We even attracted Legoland New York to Orange County, which is a tremendous Lego themed theme park, the third in North America and the ninth worldwide. So, not a small thing to have here, but we are located, the shortest distance that we usually brag about is 60 miles from New York City. Some parts are further, but we're at closest. We're about 60 miles from Manhattan, so which obviously is great proximity to an incredible market of 10 million plus people. And we do have still people migrating up this way, which bring new entrepreneurs, new businesses, new executives, just new residents, of course. So it's been wonderful. But we've seen a lot in my time. I've been in Orange County about 25 years now. Moved here from further upstate New York, the real upstate, I like to say. We call it
That's the
upstate here.
real
It's,
estate.
real upstate, a little west of Albany, kind of on the way to Rochester and such. And I've seen a lot of growth myself here and trying to be a part of it now. And ever since I was here and even knew what economic development was, and a lot of people don't until you're in it or connected one way or another, what I've always heard is we need to attract businesses and jobs and careers that everyone that are young people that can work at not just in a factory or a job like that, but where young people can go to college and come back and have real careers here, build careers. And we're really starting to see that. We've had a couple really great wins here recently, and I think we're upping our game in terms of the kinds of businesses that we have here that again can employ people of all ages for sure, but again, kind of the thinking, kind of the dream, the drive is a place where our young people can grow up, have a wonderful quality of life, go experience something else, whether it's college or whatever it is, and come back here and build their lives as adults. So that's kind of what drives me and what's so exciting about doing what we do.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Sure.
So there's just two things I want to go back to. First of all, we're talking about Orange County, New York, not Orange County, any other state,
Thank
right?
you.
New York.
Absolutely.
It's the real Orange County, by the way. I like
The real Orange County. Thank you. Exactly. You said it.
And one other thing I just want to add. So yes, so New York State it's really very interesting. So we moved to South Carolina. We're located in the Charleston area. And when people say, "Where are you from?" and we say New York, I always say New York State, not the city, because
Right.
people only know the city. So just to put it into some perspective, what I like to do is I like to say, let's just say the state of New York is like the size of a Big Mac hamburger, the patty. Okay. And let's say you drop one little tiny grain of salt on the patty. That little grain of salt represents New York City.
Right.
The rest of the patty is
Geographically.
big,
Yeah.
right? So I think that will help put into perspective. So when you're an hour out of New York City, north of New York City, because there's also Long Island and Westchester that are more, I guess, east, west, and south of. When you're an hour north, you still have, I think, what, 6 or 7 hours further north, you can still go to Oneonta and out in the west, the wild
Buffalo all the way. Absolutely. 7+ hours. Definitely.
and Niagara Falls and all of that. So it's really interesting. So we like to say the Hudson Valley is located in central New York. Is that kind of?
No.
It's really not. It's really not.
It's somewhat lower New York.
Yeah,
Again, people
it
here
is.
and people that come from the city say it's upstate New York because anything north of the Bronx is upstate to them.
That's right.
But no, central New York is Syracuse. You got Capital
Oh,
District in
Albany.
Albany,
Right.
and then you've got kind of the Syracuse area, which I would really call central New York, which is why the State Fair is there. And then you got Western New York, which is your Buffalo and Rochester almost being there, Finger Lakes, all that direction, everything. So, yeah, there's a lot to New York besides New York City, and you're right. That's what most people know. But yeah, we are the reason people still call it and like to call it upstate is certainly it is north of the city, but it has tremendous, quality of life and just a beautiful, you want to use that word, bucolic setting, no doubt about it. It's gorgeous. We
Yeah.
still have rolling hills, beautiful green mountains, wonderful lakes. I mean, it's really, and I live on the Hudson River in the city of Newburgh, and it's absolutely breathtaking. So it's a gorgeous place, but still removed from the city, yet still has economic opportunity for people. So that's really the kind of sweet spot we have that we're enjoying.
So taking all of what you just said into consideration and then thinking about how you grow and attract businesses because that's what you're doing now is the business development. So when you are looking at a portfolio of opportunities and maybe you're reaching out, like how do you actually tell businesses you're there?
Sure.
What's the approach?
So we work with a number of partners. I would say our main partner in this, so we kind of work hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, what it might be, is the Orange County Partnership for Economic Growth. I worked there years ago, actually. I was the director of business attraction there. So they are kind of our business attraction marketing engine. And we do some of it at the IDA, but I'm not a big believer in kind of duplicating services or overlap unless it really makes a lot of sense. So we've really stuck to doing what we do well and focusing on that and getting better at that and working with our partners to let them bring those resources. So the Orange County Partnership, again, really attraction marketing. Obviously today, social media and the web is where everything kind of starts and pulls you into. But a lot of it's in person. I do participate in these same types of activities. We'll go out and meet of course, business owners, entrepreneurs that are growing, looking for a place to kind of take root, but larger companies as well. For example, recently we've been focused going on what I said about trying to bring higher caliber industry sectors here that bring better careers here. We've been working in the life sciences, for example, which is generally pharmaceuticals and biotech type of work, everything in that kind of ilk. And again, bring better, higher paying careers, sustainable. We're looking at sectors that are going to be around for a while in this, ever changing modern world. And a lot of those companies in the life sciences and say pharma manufacturing are in Westchester County, which is truly just upstate from the Bronx, right,
Literally
right.
across a bridge.
It is exactly. So they've had a real concentration of businesses in that area. So we've been connecting with those types of businesses, with executives that lead those industry sectors, and trying to first of all let them know we're on the map. That we are here. I That's an easier sell these days because we really have had a lot of growth and we brought a lot of manufacturing operations here. We brought the Legoland theme park, which I mentioned, that really kind of helped put us on the map. But to be, defined as an area that can host the kinds of sectors I'm talking about, you really have to have some wins there or do some extra work. So we've worked with, again, reaching out to companies themselves. We also work with a lot of corporate site selectors that are hired by companies looking for a new place, either to expand or to move to. So that's an important part of what
It's
we do.
another whole business just going out there. So it's not commercial realtors. You're talking about people who are actually going out and what are they looking at for a second? Let's just stay with this for a second. I'm very
Sure.
interested. Are they looking at demographics? Are they looking at the tax base? Are they looking at what the caliber of possible employment and labor looks like? What do
Yes.
they want?
All of the above, especially real estate as well. Of course, they're looking for a site that fits their needs. They usually send out very sophisticated site selectors will send out what's known as an RFI, a request for information, and it is voluminous. That it has pages and pages where what kind of water capacity do you have, sewage, what kind of setbacks are there on a certain property that will allow you to actually build on it, workforce that's in proximity, how friendly is the business community, how business friendly is the municipality there, which is important as well. We have a lot of business friendly towns and villages and cities, but some more than others, and it makes a real difference. So you mentioned commercial real estate brokers. That was on the tip of my tongue. That was next after corporate site selectors. They're still important because one, we have to identify properties, sites as I'll call them. We need to get them ready. So, for example, one of the things the ID is doing with our savings, I'll call it our fund balance, is identifying properties around Orange County that we can actually help ready for the kinds of sectors that we're looking to attract. If it's life sciences, then they need abundant water. They need power. We're also looking to get into microchip manufacturing. That's all the rage right now. And in real upstate, where I'm from, the Syracuse area, for example, they just landed Micron, a huge memory manufacturer. It's going to be like 10,000 jobs up there. And these are
Fantastic.
high paying jobs. You're seeing also in Saratoga County, they have Global Foundries. They manufacture AMD microchips. Now you need about 1,000 acres to do that, and again, abundant power and water. We are still putting together a site of that size, but we can still be in that world. Really, what we'll describe as the supply chain for microchip manufacturing, packaging, other types of uses or complements to just making the actual microchip. So we need to identify property, get them ready. And one of the things we're doing is going through the approval process in some of these existing sites to get them ready to host better types of higher caliber projects. So there's a lot involved. Commercial real estate brokers working with local municipalities and their supervisors and mayors and such. That's important. And we go to industry conferences, for example, there's one coming up, Semicon West, which is about semiconductors. And on the West Coast, last year it was in San Francisco. This year we'll be going to Phoenix for that. Meeting again industry executives, people really movers and shakers in these different sectors, trying to help them know about Orange County, where we are, the capabilities and the resources we have. And this is something else I've learned over the years, is even where their competitors may be located near us, because it's not like they're looking to be somewhere far removed from where their their competitors are, because actually it's kind of proof of concept. If one of their competitors is located here and is thriving, it shows them that they can as well. And a lot of
Very
times we
interesting.
will pull some
Yeah,
competitors after we land, a major company here. So it's kind of
interesting.
interesting.
So, all right, wait. I got like a million questions in my head right now. I'm curious about the the mindset, and not just the mindset, but what type of ideal client would be a good fit for Orange County? What are you looking for in the personality, the culture, the leadership, the product, the service? How do you
Well,
identify
great
that?
question. I'll start with culture because I think that's something that really is a differentiator in a place like Orange County because it is a special place. I've lived in a number of places. My mother's British. We lived there for a while. Lived in Southern Florida. I actually graduated high school down there after growing up most of my time in upstate New York. And it's just a really unique place here that has, again, quality of life, has, wonderful people. We have a great workforce, an educated, trained workforce. We, of course, can draw from about 30 million people between New York City, Boston, and those kind of metro areas that are here. So we really can draw some talent here. But it still is a county made up of smaller municipalities, smaller towns, and not small, but smaller. The whole county has about 400,000 people in it. So, and we have about 42 different municipalities. So you're not talking about enormous
Yeah.
metropolises, for sure, but they're hometowns to people. They're where people know each other, where they know who the mayor and the supervisor are, and they see them in the grocery store. So it's important to have a place that it's a positive culture, that they care about being a good neighbor, that they care about the places that they are taking root in. So I think culture is really important. We do need someone that's going to be that good neighbor, and also with what we do, it's a little tricky. We provide tax incentives. Oftentimes it's a short-term savings on property taxes. So if you're building on a raw piece of land, a green field we'll call it, and those taxes are typically, let's say in New York State, about $50,000 a year, let's say roughly would be a number for a good sized parcel. Well, when you build on that, you create, let's say it's a factory, then it's going to be worth far more than that. And the
Right.
taxes oftentimes are in excess of $1 million. So what we do is a property tax abatement, commonly known as pilots, which means payments in lieu of taxes, in lieu of or instead of actually just building it and it being assessed, appraised and assessed, and your tax is put out there, your tax payment. Well, we provide a schedule of payments that ramps up those property taxes from what the land currently generates to what the full tax would be. We just brought in a wonderful wine and grape juice manufacturer, kosher royal wine, and they
Oh,
make
okay.
kedem. If you know about
Kevin.
kedem, it's
I
often
know Kevin.
right? You're using it to celebrate oftentimes.
Uh-huh.
They're manufacturing that now in Goshen, New York. They just built a 600,000 square foot facility there where they're going to manufacture, also going to make New York wines there. And they're distributing all their juice. They also have kosher food products that their Keiko division is distributing. And it's their kind of world headquarters now. So we drew them from New Jersey, which just is fun for us. We'd like to steal from New Jersey when we can. It's just they're our fun competitor. We respect them, but we do appreciate being able to draw business up there. And Royal Wine, they just finished construction earlier this year. Their taxes are going to be when their tax abatement is over. It'll be over $4 million a year in property taxes, and that all goes to Goshen schools, the Goshen town and village, into Orange County. So they're going to get a big benefit when it comes to that. And we want to know that they're not just coming for that they're going to be a good neighbor, that they care about Orange County, they care about being a good neighbor and contributing to our, our business economy and to our society here. So that's important. Culture is important. What we're looking at now a lot of times is the term I use is future ready industries. It's again a fast changing world, and we want to attract businesses that are going to make it, that are going to be here not just for 10 years, but for 20, 30 years, for decades.
So I want to ask you, I want to go back because everybody knows Legoland. That's a big, common, well-known entity, right? And if you don't
Right.
know what Legoland is, then you should go find your local Legoland. And if you've played with Legos as
Yes.
a kid, you don't know what you're missing. I remember, so we were still living in New York State when Legoland was just first even being talked about. And I remember the town, and this is probably a very common challenge. The people of the town wanted to make sure that it wouldn't impact the traffic, that they wouldn't impact their water supply. There was a lot of environmental considerations, and I know that when they were building, I remember they're off of, is it Route 17?
Correct.
Right, Route 17 on the other side, on the west side of 17. I don't know. South
I
side,
kind of
north
was, you're
side.
heading west. I would call that south.
Okay, so it was the south
Yes.
side. I was close. So, so now that it's been there and it's established, what is the footprint and what have you learned about those types of entities and what would you do again and what might you not do again?
It's a great question. And I will say that Legoland, it may be the best project I will ever be a part of. I hope not. I hope there's some really exciting things about the future. I'm really looking forward to it because we have some great opportunities, but it's such a transformational project, really. And it was great for me. Just side story. My daughter, we talked about our kids earlier, and my daughter, who's 18 now, she went with me on my kind of my expedition to Legoland, Florida, which is in Winter Haven, Florida. I
Nice.
actually had an aunt that lived there, and my daughter came with me, and she stayed with my aunt while I was doing all the business stuff. And then my aunt took her to Legoland in the park. And then the next day when I was done with my work, she took me around the park. And Legoland is one of those places, and they say this, where your kids will lead you around. They know it. They're not enormous parks, they're nicely sized. So that was a really great project to be a part of. But I remember coming back and being so excited and saying, we've got to make this happen. We've got to bring this here. What a boon. In Florida, by the way, there was very little, if any, opposition because they had an old theme park called Cypress Gardens, I think it was, and it really started to fail. And it was a mainstay and a big part of the economy down there in Winter Haven, that was just outside Orlando. And when it was really dying on the vine, and then Legoland came in. Legoland, by the way, they're operated by Merlin Entertainments. It's a UK company that operates all the Madame Tussauds around, the London Eye, the Ferris wheel, the largest chain of aquariums in the world, known as Sea Life. So it's a big operation. And yeah, we were excited to bring it here. And when I got home and we really got in going through the planning board and everything, the number one concern was traffic. That seems to be, and in the years
I remember
since,
that. Yeah.
everyone is concerned about traffic. And I will tell you that largely, and I'm not just saying this as an economic developer, it's just the truth. I've seen it bear out. Traffic is far less of a concern than people usually kind of react to initially. Legoland, they built a $40 million overpass over Route 17. Years ago, it was called the Quickway. It was a Quickway down in New York City. That overpass, I almost never see another car on it when I'm on it. And all the roads that lead into Legoland, and they on purpose they designed it so that you'll go in and park and you pay on the way out, and there's a lot of extra line for all that, so you're not getting backed up as a result. But I've never seen a backup. I've never seen any traffic related to
Right.
Legoland, and they're and not their private company, so not to get into their personal business, but they're looking for well over 1 million visitors a year. They've broken that mark already and looking to exceed that. So you're talking, let's say multiple, a couple of million people each year, but they don't come in caravans every day where you're just lining up Route 17. Also, our neighbors to the northwest, Sullivan County, the Catskills, which was famed, it was the Borscht Belt, was famed for having 500 hotels in its
Oh,
heyday.
the Rat Pack used to go up there and people would flock from Brooklyn up there to see the Rat Pack, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And by the way, they've had a tough economy. They've after those hotels, whether it was people going to Florida, whatever it might be, but that all died up there. That entertainment angle, and they've been looking for a gaming casino for a long time to be their savior. Well, they got one, Resorts
Uh-huh.
World Casino, and everyone was concerned about traffic there. And it's another one where you don't see hordes of people lining up Route 17, again, the main thoroughfare to get up there as well. It's just really not an issue. So I talk to people all the time. Some people I know that we're opponents, and I'll say, how's the traffic, and people that live in a development nearby it, And I had sympathy for those folks because quite honestly, I'm like most people. I don't want anything in my backyard either. I don't want a factory. I don't want a theme park. I don't want transportation, and I don't want anything there. I want just my world like we all are. But proper planning puts things in the right place. This was a great location for it. It's hidden from everywhere around it. You just see the top of the hotel. There's a Lego themed hotel there, which is jammed all year round. They want to build another one, frankly.
Wait,
So
wait, wait, wait. So hold on. So let's go back for a second. What would you do again, and what would you not do again or do differently?
for Legoland or
Well,
any
not
other
just
project?
Legoland, but like what lesson can you extract from that experience and bring it into the next chapter for another
Sure.
company?
I think it's finding ways to really show people, whether it's visual, traffic studies. You'll see animated illustrations of traffic patterns. We have Woodbury Common here, premium outlets, which is it's like the third largest tourist attraction in New York State, and it's a series of premium outlets just in Orange County,
Yep.
just up from the city, for sure. So they get about if they're prime, about 13 million visitors a year. So that's real traffic there. And again, we're talking maybe a couple million for Legoland. So, but when they built an expansion on Woodbury Common, the engineering company that was their consultant did a real illustration of it because it's a weird thing. It's called like a double helix or something, diverging diamond, I think is actually what it's called. And I remember seeing the plan, and I said, how, traffic's going to run into each other. I didn't understand how it works. And they had an illustration, animated illustration. You could see it. And I'd say, okay, I get it now. And you can, there are tools today where you can show, you can forecast, you can demonstrate, you have visual representation of these things. So I think finding a way to show people exactly what the truth is around some of these issues, traffic, growth, infrastructure concerns, and again, concerns about people's, water and things like that. I think we have to go above and beyond to really demonstrate for people what the truth is there and highlighting examples of these projects elsewhere if possible. Legoland was a good example of that. The planning board folks, that members of the planning board, their consulting engineer and such, they went down the same couple of weeks that I went to Legoland and they observed these traffic patterns for hours and hours, for days, hours at a time. So they knew, but then trying to come home and explain that to just your average resident, that's a challenge. And people just tend to kind of freak out, to be honest with you. And I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm not saying anyone's crazy for opposing or having concerns. I say it all the time
Well,
about
it's fear.
public hearings. Is God bless America that we can do this and have
Right.
this
Well,
dialogue.
it's the fear of the unknown. So you
It
don't
is.
know. So your imagination goes wild, and then people start creating rumors. And now we have Facebook, and we have all of the social media, and everybody's kind of, we don't want it, we hate it, we don't want this, we don't want that. No, 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 no. And then
And
it's
that
like,
just
well,
gets wound up and
yep,
grows. It's becomes outsized, frankly. So no, you're right. But really, our approach, we just try and be truthful with people, try and over communicate. At least that's my specialty. I like talking to people. I did during Legoland. I spoke with everyone. I gave them my card, asked them to call me. Happy to talk it out because people don't know what they don't know, and it's scary. It
it is
really is
scary.
for
So
people.
now, okay, so that's something that you would do going forward.
Yes.
What would, and not just based on Legoland, but over the years of what you've seen works and what you know doesn't. What has been the biggest lesson that you've learned over the years that you now know how to avoid better?
Yeah. I guess I still would say, communicate more and communicate better and more deeply using all these different channels. But I guess one of the things I wouldn't do again is I wouldn't make, and I was just kind of alluding to this, I wouldn't expend so much energy trying to convince people that are clearly opposed and are not going to listen to you about whatever it is, fact or fiction. I oftentimes would spend probably too much energy on that, just because it's like, geez, this is a great thing. I know it is. You're going to see. Let me convince you of that. Let me give you as much information as I can. And oftentimes they'll try and use that, twist it, put it on social media, have it be a negative thing, whatever it might be. So I would probably say not spending as much time with the overly negative people. Again, there's just folks in the middle, and that's always where my focus is in this country period is, we need to come back to the middle and we're those sensible people and
Yep.
trying to convince those folks. I hate to say convince, but try and win them over
Well, I
with the
think
right
you,
way.
if you see the value, you have the vision. You see the value, you have an understanding, you know what it can do, not just for the economy, but also for, the population in general, the jobs, all of that, what it could bring. So you can see that. And there are people who just don't like change. And I think that's across the board, no matter what you're going to do in life, right?
It's so true. One of the things I hear a lot from people at public hearings and such is, hey, I moved up from New York City. I didn't move here for traffic and for Legoland and this, that, and the other. And I say to myself, well, because you moved here for a quieter, way of life. We have to die here. We have to shrivel and die in the vine. We can't grow.
Well,
We
that's what
have to. We have to
happened in
change.
Sullivan County. Sullivan County didn't change. They didn't keep up. They didn't have any infrastructure. The old guard left. All of I'm going to say this in Yiddish, the Altakakas, the old guard, they left. The kids didn't want to go up to Loch Sheldrick or to Monticello or to
Right.
Wilkesboro anymore. They wanted to go to Greece and Hawaii. And so things shifted and changed, and that area has been decimated. Monticello is like a ghost town. It's
Yeah,
sad.
it's struggling. It
It's
is
sad.
for sure. I live in the city of Newburgh, and I often compare it to actually Sullivan County as a whole, um, because there is blight there. There is racial tension, going back years from various factors, and you have people that don't believe in themselves either or where they are. I find that about Newburgh. A lot of times, there's a lot of pride there, but there's also kind of hating on yourself in a way and thinking we don't deserve better. And I see that a lot in Sullivan County, especially
Yeah.
in a place like Monticello. You have Monticello, Fallsburg, and Liberty. At times a triangle of poverty, unfortunately, and they're working very hard to get out of that. We have our partners up there are folks on doing the same thing up there. The Sullivan County Partnership they have as well. They have an IDA as well, and they're really trying to diversify their economy. They're trying to bring manufacturing in. That now we have people complaining about logistics centers here, warehouses. People say it derisively. They kill for a great distribution center up there, just like in my old hometown, upstate New York. They same thing. They kill for it. I talk to economic developers where I'm from. They're saying I can't believe the problems you have sometimes getting public approval on some things. We would love that project. It's just we have what we have. People they say it's too much, and then they want something else. So everyone tells me they all have their own pet peeve, and why do you bring this in, and why do you bring that in? Everyone has their little favorite. But we're trying to again focus on industry sectors that are going to be around, that are going to be viable for decades, and that will bring quality careers with them. And that's where we're putting our eggs on those
I think that's
baskets.
awesome. So you guys are like the bridge between the opportunities for the businesses to save money, incentivize them with those tax advantages, and then bring it
Sure.
into the local economy so that everybody benefits. On that note, I'm just curious because we only have a few minutes. We really need to wrap up. What's the one thing that if there was a message or a lesson or something that you want listeners and viewers to hear, what would it be?
Well, I guess it would be for what we do and the partners that we have in this is that we love Orange County as well, really, and that we really want what's best. We want what's best for not just the people living there now, but their children, their grandchildren. We care about it. So we live here as well. So I do want people to know that I'm genuine about caring about the county and it really. I'm doing this work because I want to improve it. I want to really, it's for the sake of the future, for sure. So that's important. But I don't know if it's another lesson for your audience or what, but
I think so. Well, here's my takeaway. First of all, there's no doubt that you're passionate about what you do. And I think that you did allude to that you genuinely, sincerely care about the community. You genuinely, sincerely care about the economy there, and you want to maintain the culture. So you're purposefully, with intention, looking for the best fits to come into the the environment there. And I think that is a huge compliment to you and to your character. And I mean, you've grown in your capacity. You literally started out as when I met you, and I don't know what you were doing before that, but when I met you at the Orange County Chamber, you hadn't even started thinking about, or maybe you were, but we just hadn't been there. You were there supporting entrepreneurs. You were there supporting
absolutely.
the networking
Small
events.
business especially, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous. I think it's
Yep.
fabulous. So for now, just one more question for you, and then I'm gonna end because we're going over a little bit. Yeah.
Sure.
What size, what size organization is really an ideal organization? Like if somebody's listening and they have a company and they're looking to maybe move, but they're not sure where, how do they know if they're a good fit for you in Orange County?
Another great question. A lot of times people think because we do attract so many large businesses that they think that that's really the only companies that can benefit from the IDA. We've really placed particular emphasis in my time here in the last 5 years, trying to show that we can help the homegrown businesses as well. We've helped a lot of local developers build hotels because we need that to strengthen our tourism economy. You know, Legoland is an attractor, but they need to come here and find somewhere to stay. And we have so many other things going on. It's such a gorgeous time of year. I'll date your program right now because it's
Okay.
the fall here and it's
Oh,
absolutely
it's
gorgeous. So
beautiful. The colors on the
it's
leaf. Oh, the leaves. It's the
it's
best time.
October here right now, and it's still absolutely gorgeous. So we do want people to be able to experience that as well. So we have another one, the Castle Fun Center, which is a small homegrown. It's a concrete contractor is the word I'm looking for, who decided to put up a mini golf course,
I
and it's
didn't know that. That's who
yeah,
owns that. Oh, that's why the castle's
yes.
made out of concrete. Got it.
Exactly. That's why there's a lot of concrete. And he's built it, he and his wife and his family, his kids have grown up in the
Wow.
business. And they just expanded again, adding a new go-kart track, adding a whole new ice skating rink because during COVID they took I'm sorry, roller skating rink. They used that rink for a whole inflatable park that they have there. They still have that. They built the skating rink, and it's got a new bowling alley underneath it because the bowling alley nearby closed down. There wasn't one. So it's all there. And we helped incentivize that project. And they've got maybe 30 full-time employees and hire a lot of especially young people there, as you can imagine, with all the different, attractions they have. But it's a small project still. It's absolutely a small business, no doubt about it. And we really help them get that project, the expansion off the ground. And I'm proud of that we're able to make a difference for businesses, especially, I keep saying homegrown, people that are from here, have a dream, want to do something, want to build on that dream. And for us to be able to assist that and not just bring in the Legolands and major pharmaceutical manufacturers and things like that, but the small and medium sized businesses as well. That it means a lot to me. And that's the last thing I will leave is. We talked about you use these words genuine. I think that's what I try and be in general, like it just in operating as a person and a professional is I truly care about what I do. I think I'm in the right job. I feel like I'm the right person to be here, which is a good feeling. I think you have to think that way. And I try in my interactions, I try and be genuine. I listen to people. And I've got major ADD myself, but I work hard to try and listen to someone, focus, hear them out,
Love.
and build a relationship, even if it's just
Right.
with a constituent that wants to talk about projects. So I think that's made a real difference in my success, my profession, where I'm trying to be a real person who cares and is when I'm speaking. I may be a little, I'm a talker for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I wouldn't have known that. And the
Yeah,
listeners have
right.
no idea that you like to talk.
Exactly. But I try and be genuine and
Oh, it's
authentic, I guess is
fantastic.
the other word.
It's
So,
fantastic. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this or not. Some of the listeners hopefully have listened. So Sheila Pro, who's now 83, by the way,
oh
she
my.
was on she's on one of the episodes. I don't remember which number the episode is, and she talks about what it's like to be still scaling at 83. It's like the fourth episode. And I know, and I'm bringing her up because I know that she officiated your wedding.
I was going to bring it up if you didn't. So it was really special. Yeah, we had her there. My wife and I both love her. She's a force of nature. Even at 83, she is unbelievable.
Is
She
she
taught me a
amazing?
lot. I was a client of hers as a life coach for a while. And she really,
Wow.
during a pivotal point in my time when my career, when I was actually making this move and in my personal life, she is an unbelievable inspiration. She's amazing. She still has incredibly, insightful things to say. So yeah, she's an important person to me. And yeah, we love her.
For that. I appreciate you sharing. That's a beautiful testimonial for her. Okay, so now one last question, and then we really got to go. How do people get in touch with you? So somebody is
Great.
listening somewhere who's like, oh, a light bulb just went off. We're going to look in the Hudson Valley of New York. How do I get in touch with this guy? How do we get
Sure,
to?
thank you. So again, it's the Orange County, New York IDA, and our website is always a great place to start, www.ocnyida.com for Orange County, New York IDA.com, ocnyida.com. We have a lot of social media platforms, of course, doing a lot in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, etc. You can find us. Orange County IDA is usually what it is. And by the way, again, IDA is Industrial Development Agency. Bit of a misnomer. We're a lot more these days. IDAs are. But you can call me as well. Our main line here is 845 234 4192. You can find everything on our website. We have every project we've ever considered is on there. Every document related to every project is on there. You can watch all of our meetings on YouTube. Everything's there.
All right,
So we're
wait,
completely
hold on.
transparent, but call me if you have any
Wait,
questions or want to
wait,
talk about anything in between the
wait
lines.
a second, wait a second, wait a second. So I have to do this with so many of my guests. So can you do me a favor? Just go back and say the phone number again a little slower so
Sure.
people actually want to write it down or put it in their phone.
Sure. So everything is available on our website and social media. But if you want to discuss something, you have a question, you have a complaint, whatever it might be, give us a call. That number is area code 845 234
You know,
4192.
thank you.
845 234 4192. I get calls every week from people that just, want to ask. They don't understand something. Again, sometimes I get some complaints and I'll talk it out with them. And sometimes they come out on the other side of it. But I love doing that. It's important, again, the authenticity of what we do. I'm not just here, some carpetbagger, just trying to, hawk properties here in Orange
No,
County and
I
get
think you've got some proof of concept. I don't think that I think that there is some value and legitimacy to what you're doing, and you have the proof is in the pudding, right? So, Mr. Bill Fioravanti, I did say that correctly,
you
right?
did beautiful.
Awesome. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us today. I believe that the listeners out there and so many organizations and business professionals who may just be thinking about making a move, if you don't reach out to Bill Fioravanti, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. At the very least, he's there for a resource. Please feel free to reach out to him. He shared his contact information with us. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we need you all to subscribe to the YouTube channel for Entrepreneurial Lymph with Debra Pearlman. Once we get over 100, our algorithm will shift and we will start to really take on some fast growth and accelerate our reach. So please subscribe and pick up my book. If you haven't yet, it's Oomph with Debra Pearlman. You can just look up and do a Google search, Oomph with Debra Pearlman. You'll find my book. And episodes drop once a week on Tuesdays. So when you subscribe, you're not going to get bombarded with anything. We don't sell you any personal information. We just ask you to please listen, subscribe, and like our episodes. Thank you so much for joining us. Till next week. Thank you. This is Debra Pearlman.
Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love.